you ever worried about lawsuits on the First Amendment, freedom of speech?
Cablevision is always worried about lawsuits, but
because this is a matter of civil rights. You just don't do things like that. It's bad enough to even question the freedom of expression. That's bad enough in itself. But to do it in such a sloppy way, this is totally unacceptable, and it's very dangerous. I strongly warn him, and this is a warning, I warn him to reconsider. As to how much time I'll give him to reverse it, and I do mean reverse it, because it's an outrageous thing to do.
Well, of course, after that, I went to the law libraries, and I started looking up the law. And it was overwhelming, but I certainly knew what my case was, that it was, at that time, I wasn't knowledgeable enough to articulate it as editorial control. And back in those days, the FCC was a whole lot different than it is now, and a whole lot more competent. And I had the insight from above to call the FCC, and fortunately a young man answered, and I told him what they had done. And he says, look up United States Code, Title 47, Section 521 et sec. He says, look up 531E. I went back to the library and I looked it up, and there articulated was everything I needed. No cable operator shall exercise editorial control over public access. And that's exactly what they had done, and I had the record. They took the program off of the TV out of editorial control. So the oral argument for that, folks, is going to be before the United States Court of Appeals, 2nd Circuit, Foley Square, 17th floor. Come, you are invited. And you don't have to be invited. Courts are a public process. Remember that. You walk into any court that you want, and you watch, and you listen, and you observe, and you find out what's being done wrong. The Westchester Court ruled, and the only thing Cablevision's lawyer, Park Avenue,